A long time ago, in a state far away, the people of Minnesota gathered around a wise stranger from a distant land. He spoke in a deep and croaky voice as he said the following words.
You guys should got a lot of lakes here.
And suddenly disappeared. The group of men looked up. After consulting their leader, they received their mission, to count all of their lakes. The citizens set off, cataloging the lakes as they journeyed across the land. Alas, even with their collective years of knowledge, they got stuck at 99.
Johnson, what are we at?
Well, sir, we're around 99.
All right.
So, the next... I decided to skip straight to the biggest number any of them had ever heard of, 10,000. And so, the land of 10,000 lakes was born. It's the land of 10,000 lakes.
And that is a good idea. Good Idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It's a comedy podcast where we find creative, actionable solutions to your real-life problems.
I'm Aidan Kinsella.
And I'm Bradley Berklich.
And this is Good Idea. Hello, Bradley, Part 2. The
Hello.
sequel to this week's recording sessions.
Last time we did it, but it was on the computer mic instead of the other microphone.
Bradley, I just have a quick question
we
for you.
on. Yeah?
What microphone are we recording on right now?
We were recording...
Because last time we did a mic test and we did it on the right mic, and then something happened, and I didn't have the
shut
computer.
The program.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to save the thing, and
I can't make... No, I'm not going to... I can't make fun of you for that. I can't make fun of you for that. It's funnier if you don't know what happened.
Big oops. Yeti... stereo microphone, the meme podcast YouTuber microphone.
The meme podcast YouTuber microphone that we have too.
We got it before it was cool though, honestly.
We did have it really before it was the meme because like when I was... I know when I was a kiddo, I had friends that were using Yeti stuff like way before anyone was podcasting. And it was like, they were like, yeah, I'm 7 years old. I have a YouTube channel.
We're really
I don't
like
know
the
how
pioneers.
We really are the first people to do media that is anything like what we're doing. I think because we have what? We have videos that are all privated online that people can't watch that we offer.
We have
hypothetically, if you pay us money for it.
Multimedia. Really, it's just sound and video.
There's sound, the video. We call them podcasts, but they're video. Well, I call them podcasts, but they're videos, and you don't call them podcasts, which is like a cool sort of miscommunication thing we're doing that is great for the audience and good for sort of how they communicate to each other what we're doing.
Maybe we should engage all the senses, I think. Really multi-sense extravaganza. If you come on down to like fucking Lake Forest, Illinois, and you like email us and you're like, yo, can I get a multi-sensory extravaganza? We'll be like,
we will
sure.
give you a multi-sensory extravaganza. We'll have multiple
make
senses.
Jokes. We'll give you a massage and we'll put on an essential oil machine and also give you a mint. And I think that's basically...
that's the four senses.
Yeah. So,
essential oils, massages, mints.
And we have a funny conversation.
And we have a funny those are the four senses.
And you just use your eyes to see.
Yeah. And so this sort of new avant-garde guerrilla media strategy that we're working on is the first thing. This is the first conversation where we're going to go public about our sort of thing that we're doing. And I'm just making this decision right now
and then
because who's going to stop me? Who's going to stop me? I'm in charge of all the social media accounts. What's up, motherfuckers? We're starting a podcast, not really podcast exclusive, but an entertainment network that will mostly be podcasts with friends of ours that we won't shut up about, or rather that I won't shut up about. This one's
real, boys.
This is like real. This one's not a bit that we're doing. But neither was any of the other stuff I said.
I was just.
That's true. I would do all of those things.
And then for the sixth,
maybe not the massage. I would have to think about.
We'd hire someone.
We'd hire somebody if you paid for it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'd do that. We'd facilitate.
We'll facilitate it. We'll tell you. We'll sort of be your what are those people? Concierge. We'll be your concierge service to the massage in town.
I'll be the bellboy.
Francesca's, the Italian restaurant where you can buy paste and pasta.
Yeah.
They do seem to have two. I do believe those are two different things, although they may just both be.
You're eating all of my paste.
That's how it's pronounced over there. But yeah, there's mince. There's mince in a bowl at the front desk in Francesca's, and all the food there is only like $20 for half a serving. So
it'll be pretty affordable.
It'll be affordable because to take the mint, you do kind of have to it's just polite.
You could get they have actually a good happy hour with appetizers. It's like $5 for each
mint.
For each yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like $5 an app maybe.
$5 an app each mint. They do only offer mints as appetizers though, which is during that specific hour they sort of conveniently run out of everything else.
Oh shit, we're out of appetizers.
Oh, we get more in 1 hour. It is 4 p.m.
Why are they rushing?
I don't know.
You like the pepper?
It's a
I am the pepper boy.
I am the pepper boy.
I saw that Saturday.
The pepper boy. Here I am. I'm bringing you the pepper.
Hey, what job can be completely eradicated from the United States economy? That one's easy. The pepper boy.
I rub Pepperseed on your eyes. It is great feeling. It is certainly sensory experience. I'm the pepper boy. I'm vaguely European. Vaguely European man with so many peppers. I got peppers that will make your eyes sting, and peppers that will make your eyes not sting, and peppers that will turn you big, and peppers. He's
Most importantly, what do you like in the pepper on the salad?
Johnny Pepperseed. I walked across all of America, planting different magical peppers everywhere. I am the root origin story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
A lot of the climate is not good for a pepper, so they die. Only of Virginia. I should not have gone across all of the United States.
This is why I am here and not in Antarctica. I started there and I worked my way down until I finally found Virginia.
I should have figured it out when the peppers kept dying.
I should have started in Virginia.
And moved elsewhere. You could be so much more progress by now. It's like burning down the Library of Alexandria.
Do you even understand how many more peppers there could be? There could be.
Where the peppers would grow?
If I had only started where the continental United States began. There would be so many peppers. But instead.
Would you like it on your salad?
Hey, he did start in Antarctica. Is that where, first question, is that where Inuit people live? Second question, maybe is that what they sound like?
Well, Inuit people, is the Antarctic the one above or below?
I think it's the...
Above one, maybe?
I think it's rise over Arctic.
No, wait, the Antarctic is the one below.
That's the low one,
The
yeah.
Arctic Circle is up above, so there's really no way for him to get off.
Because the North Pole
Antarctica.
is in the Arctic, right? And then the Antarctica is a different thing.
I like legitimately there's something we're both college educated people. I don't know shit about geography.
Here's my question, because geography is irrelevant. We're rhetoricians here. Listen, it's our job to make people think that geography is what we think it is, not to know what geography is. You understand?
Antarctica was named because there were no bears there.
There were no fucking bears there, and so they named it for ants, because there might have been some of those. People were too lazy to check.
They're so small. How will I tell? Maybe.
You think there's no bears in Antarctica? Here's my question. I don't know where the Inuit people live. It really doesn't matter.
I think Canada up north.
Not that it doesn't matter where they live, just that it doesn't matter to our podcast at this moment.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit.
No. I don't know. Let me be clear. I don't give a shit where anybody lives. I don't know anyone's address. I almost couldn't remember yours yesterday. I don't know anyone's address. I don't care where they live. The point is, the joke is unrelated to that, and now it's not going to be funny anymore. But what if the polar bears or the penguins ate all the peppers? And maybe peppers can grow in cold climates. It's just like they can either grow in appropriate climates that we know for peppers, or they can grow in Antarctica. But penguins are just pepper seed fiends, and they search the ice for the pepper seed. That's how you grow ice peppers, the kind that the Mario eats to turn into Ice Mario.
Wahoo!
Wahoo! That's a spicy pepper!
We used to plant strawberries in our yard, but our fucking dog would eat them all the time, so we'd, like, have them, and, like, we'd know when the strawberries are right, because, like, there'd be, like, a pug ass sticking out of our bushes. And I feel like that's sort of what, like...
It's that time of year again.
Yeah. The strawberries are ripe. So is the dog.
So are the rosebuds. Waka waka.
Oh, man.
Do you like that one?
I feel like I don't even understand the waka waka joke.
No, the waka waka is just something that people say after bad jokes.
Is it what Pac-Man says? Waka waka. That's wooka wooka. I'm doing this wrong. Regardless. Are you looking up waka waka right now? Well, yeah, I had to Google
I feel like I do say it enough that we should know.
But also, I went to a bookstore yesterday and I bought some books, and there was one book I didn't buy, but I can't remember what it was, and there's essentially this guy, 1920s. You are a baseball star. What do you do next? That's right.
Why didn't you buy that?
That's right. You invent the transatlantic airliner. What do you do next? You're fabulously wealthy. That's right. You invent Aristotelian spheres as your own religion and publish it. And his book is like $10. I can't remember what it's fucking called. Inventor of the airliner. It's like this bizarre thing where he's like, there are many spheres, and there's like, mind is the...
This sounds... Okay, now I have to read the novel, because this sounds like the novel that I was talking about.
Really
I have to read it to you. So that's going to be the transition, and then we can go into your graffiti book and talk more about abstract art. Oh, I like this. This is fun. So we had a very goofy conversation about God knows what. Don't remember. Oh, Johnny Pepperseed. Johnny Pepperseed.
Oh shit.
Johnny Peeper said.
I'm off a brand. No royalty from me. Sucker.
It is only $25 to rent me for a whole hour at your party.
What a thing.
The real Johnny Pepperseed charges $300 an appearance. And he smells. You don't want him.
I think they meet, like, you know how, like, the two railroads meet in the middle and they, like slam, like, the golden spike into the ground or whatever?
Yeah,
so Johnny Pepperseed and Ginny Pepperseed meet each other in the... No, Johnny Pepperseed and Johnny Appleseed meet each other at, like, the fucking continent... Johnny Pepper said they meet at the Continental Divide, and then they just
which is a different person.
They just fucking fight it out.
They meet at the Four Corners in America, right? This is American Gods 2. This is my book. They meet Johnny Pepperseed. This one's about the American religion, which Neil talks about a little bit in American Gods, but very little. This one's about American religion, but it is pretty focused a little bit on... I mean, it's a little about Johnny Appleseed more than it is about most American religions, but then even more than that, it's about Johnny Pepperseed, and then even more than that, it's about Johnny Pepperseed, knockoff Johnny Pepperseed. It has to travel around America, and eventually, it's Scott Pilgrim versus the World Ass fight all the other seed owners. And it's the story, and then
it's called. This is
Johnny Appleseed. The character of Johnny Appleseed is the owner of Monsanto. He's not, and he has to fight the owner of Monsanto.
Johnny Pepperseed is fucking...
He has to fight... Johnny Pepperseed fights Johnny Pepperseed at the Four Corners in America is where they are going to finally square off against Johnny Appleseed, but initially they fight each other, right? Where does Johnny Pepperseed fight Johnny Pepperseed?
A gas station.
Meet me, where are you right now? Well, I'm in Arizona. Well, I'm in California. Well,
we meet in the Tarbucks parking lot. Is that Starbucks? Starbucks or Target? Tarbucks. You buy the tar, you drink it.
It is Florida only restaurant.
You would not have heard
Why are we meeting in Florida? You're over all the way in California and I'm in Arizona.
It is like Big Boy. It's not in every state. Big Boy is in every state. He's like the fucking off-brand. Here's what the book is called, by the way. And it totally reminded me of this other book that Aiden is like writing a fun book.
Janet Seed Jalapeno.
But the book by Alfred W. Lawson, inventor of the airliner, professional baseball player, is called Penetrability. Yeah.
This really does remind me of my book.
Also
Holy
known
shit.
as The Cognitive Penetrability of Perception, New Philosophical Perspective.
This is my book.
Too late, Aiden. Man did it in 1920.
Okay, mine's different. Okay, wait. Can you read some of that? Do you have any ability to read any of that right now?
It was all garbage. I remember looking at it. Lawson viewed the concept of energy in much the same way that hardcore creationists view the concept of evolution, as unsubstantiated by faulty data that has become entrenched in the mainstream. As in, like, he thought all of energy, like the concept of energy, was just wrong.
Well,
so this dude...
Well, Bradley, give that the consideration it deserves.
There's a fucking college in Racine which still operates that teaches Lawsononomy, and I think there's one in Madison too, which is fucking nuts because this guy's clearly insane. Lawson insistence on a 30-year program.
Sorry, are you saying Lawsononomy?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you said law of. I thought that's what I thought you were saying. And then I heard you say. No, I thought you were saying law of synonymy, and I was like, is this like some like attracts like shit? Because this guy did not make that up.
It's like fucking. He's like one standard deviation away from L. Ron Hubbard, frankly. Lawson intended to account for movement with his core idea of penetrability, in which suction and pressure causes currents that enable movement. Zigzag swirl describes the pattern of motion caused by pressure and pulling and suction in varying degrees of penetrability. So this book is still at the half-price books. You could go find it. I think it'd be very interesting. It's $10. It's a fascinating read. It's in the old section.
Which half-price books?
Vernon Hills.
Well, here's what that book might be like if it was good, or at least if I wrote it.
Okay.
Weight room. It is morning. White light streaming through small windows falls softly on humanoid statues. Each statue is primarily metal and is organically constructed of levers that push and pull and pivot without visible cause. On the walls, the statues watch themselves pushing and pulling and pivoting, which drives them only to push and to pull and to pivot still more. The simple machines that comprise each statue inhale and exhale and live. Every statue in the room hates the levers they are made from and spends their time thinking about how much better their life would be if only they could have the levers the other statues have. Each statue is a distinct piece of art that was made at a different time, often by another statue. Statues in this room are usually older, marked by distinctly worn pieces of iron machinery that often sport a pretentious patina, showing up faithfully every morning to fight their inevitable obsolescence as working machines. Do you like it so far? What are your thoughts?
It's not at all like Lawsononomy.
No?
No, it's Lawsononomy. The first bit is like encompassing many disciplines, including philosophy, biology, psychology, economics, all under the banner of natural law. Lawsononomy is best remembered, parentheses, when it's remembered at all, for Lawson's attempt to throw out the fundamentals of physics and replace them with his own ideas.
Okay, now Bradley, I'm not done, because that's kind of what this is. That's kind of what happens. A little bit.
Okay.
Just let me get there. Found my footnote. Footnote. In much the same way a female news anchor might be sure to regularly apply anti-aging eye cream to maintain... Oh, I should reread the sentence. It'll make more sense.
Very American Killer? What's the fucking book called? American Psycho.
American Psycho?
Anti-aging cream.
Yeah, I was actually exactly what went through. I apply an anti-aging eye balm before I shave. Statues in this room are usually older, marked by distinctly worn pieces of iron machinery that often sport a pretentious patina, showing up faithfully every morning to fight their inevitable obsolescence as working machines. Footnote, in much the same way a female news anchor might be sure to regularly apply anti-aging eye cream to maintain a youthful sense of journalistic wonder and integrity. The room is full of other things too. Some of them levers like the ones the statues are made of, others not so much. Levers and wheels and spheres live and breathe as they are imbued with life by statues present in the room. Footnote, indeed, each statue may imbue anything with life. They only need take hold of it, and it becomes at once a part of them. Staring off into the distance, a young man in a red cotton shirt is not made of levers. He makes himself unknown in the southeast corner of the space, sitting behind a dark, granite-topped desk. He has made himself unknown by not yet being here. The young man has forgotten that it's his turn to sit in the room. He is reminded to sit in the room, so he does. He will be spoken to about this later, and he is nervous. Movement, Left. The young man's head quickly snaps to the left, appraising the threat. An Asian woman. Human. No levers. It's a false threat. It's anxiety. An Asian woman. Human. No levers. This book is going to explore the idea of dissociation a lot. And jumpiness. And
well, that's fun.
Because it's just like, it's going to be a lot of stream of consciousness, and it's part of my life.
Like a mental health sort of thing.
Totally. There are chapters that are present tense, like weight room. And the next chapter is called It Was December. Because every chapter title will just vaguely set the scene without describing the exact layout.
That's cool.
Because it's all about perception, and I stole the whole idea of this book, as you mentioned, American Gods, and how that was an inspiration for me. The specific inspirational point, I mean, as I was listening to American Gods, I kept feeling like I wanted to write something of my own that shared similar types of observations, you know? Mm-hmm. There was a line in the book about how, like, the symbol is the thing, you know, whatever, which I've heard a million times before, but the way it was said, and in the context of that book, and in the context of a conversation I'd had the night before, it made about American Gods, which was a wonderful conversation that I had with a roommate of a friend of mine at like 2 a.m. Like, it was a great night, super fun. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, yeah, the symbol is the thing. And because she had talked to me about this idea of, like, shadow being the opposite of human, and the gods being the humans, and that connected to me for, like, the all this Greek writing tradition about comedy and drama, and God's faults being what made the things that made them human, and this book taking that in such a literal way, and all these conversations that I've had with my dad about how I think American Gods is a comedy, even though it's hard to argue that it's a funny book. And I don't think Neil Gaiman would describe American Gods as a comedy, because I don't know that it was necessarily intentional. And maybe it was. I'm not trying to speak for him.
Be darkly comedic? I mean, parts of it are definitely...
No, there's funny parts, but my dad repeatedly has said to me that he doesn't think it's a funny book. And I'm sorry I stopped reading what I was reading. I might go back into that, I might not, depending on how the flow of the conversation is. But the conversation I had with my father over and over again we were talking about American Gods, and so my dad says the book's not funny, and I'm like, he's like, it's got funny parts, and there's certainly a wit to it, but I don't think it's a comedy. And I'm like, I totally think it's a comedy, because in a comedy, things start out bad, and they get better. No, listen to me. There are a couple spoilers for Neil Gaiman's American Gods ahead, just so you know. And in Greek comedy, especially, which is where that traditional comedy structure comes from. Obviously, modern comedies have changed. Things are not always that cut and dry. But comedies start tragic and become good. Tragedies start comedic and become bad. American Gods, he's in jail. His wife has just died with another man's penis in her mouth. And he's pulled on this journey that will take him away from these bad things into more things. And all he talks about for pretty much the whole book is how he's not living, and how he is not afraid to die because he has nothing. And then by the end of the book, he has things. And he has a life, and he is living, and he has things to go to. And in the postscript, he speaks with Odin, who tells him he has things to go to, and that those things will wait for him, and that he may take his time, for he has earned it. For it is a comedy and not a tragedy.
Here, this is like a linguistic thing. As a student of Greek, their word for comedy is just like good story. Yeah. So it's like, it is a good... No, I know. I'm not saying... I'm using that definition of the word. I want to be very clear. That is the definition I'm using. But we don't use that anymore. So, like, it's certainly not a tragedy, but it's using our modern definition of comedy, it's certainly not a comedy.
That's fair. I use the Greek definition. I should be clear.
You were going to confuse a lot of fucking people.
That's fair. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I use the Greek definition of comedy exclusively when I talk about arts, because I don't really watch movies. It's true. I mean, like, I guess if I talk about podcasts, I listen to comedy podcasts, but I don't say I listen to podcasts that are comedies. I say I watch funny movies. And comedy movies are still like that. Look at everything Adam Sandler's ever done.
Jack and Jill is a hilarious testament to the embezzlement in Hollywood. to the fact that you could make a movie on home video VHS and then pay $10 million bonuses to all your fun friends who you put in the movie. I think that's darkly funny, but not intentionally. I'm going to appreciate that ironically.
It's funny intentionally to me. I think it's funny. Speaking of things that I think, and stream of consciousness. An Asian woman, human, no levers. She looks younger than she looks, if that makes sense. And he recognizes her. She's a regular here. A swimmer. She disappears from his field of view for a moment, becoming an eggshell-colored wall, but she reappears shortly thereafter. He greets the woman as she walks in, and turns his head to follow her movement. He hasn't finished changing the channels of the televisions, he notices. He was meant to change them all when he first entered the room, he thinks. And then he is talking to the woman again. Her shirt, like her, is a soft yellow that matches her peaceful and calming energy. These two people, the young man and the old woman, for just this one moment, are almost in the same place and the same time, and then they are again disjointed, and then they are over. This happens a lot between people, this junction, because it is hard to share a place and a time with another thing. Footnote, even to get close to doing that. In order to connect, the connecting things must share a reality. Obviously, there are more than one. The end of their conversation is catalyzed by the tennis that begins to take place on the wall behind the young man. Each of the three Serena Williams in the room hits a different ball silently and in unison. A scorecard ticks up an arbitrary number of points, and the crowds on the wall wonder, silently and in unison, who decided the game should be scored this way. The man in the red shirt begins nervously altering the channels on the televisions. Wait, the green tennis court was a blue tennis court that was blue, thinks the man. It's green now. He pivots, moving unknowingly in perfect time with the machine of the room. He stops. The woman is gone. Has been gone? The man in the red shirt doesn't know. He also doesn't know why he is smiling. He has no agency in this smile, but he is glad it is his. As he approaches the last television, he looks down at the dark organic shapes forming on the red fabric under his arms, and he becomes self-conscious, which only drives the shapes to grow more. His nerves break apart, but before they can fall away completely, they morph instead into something that looks a whole lot like comfort, until he realizes it's different nervous. A quiet, more terrifying nervous that comes along with the acceptance of a fate you couldn't predict if you tried. Not really. All 6 televisions are displaying separate distractions now, but the young man in the red shirt is not distracted. No one is distracted. People may often focus on what they think might be the wrong thing to focus on, but they are without distraction. Folks are just liable to act on their own real priorities. People are simply unaware. It was December. It's going to solidify more, I think, into its style. Because I think, tell me if I'm wrong, it starts to make more sense as you get further into it, right?
I think probably,
But the imagery doesn't change. Like, it's the same type of imagery the whole time. It just starts to become a consistent world. Mm-hmm. And that's the piece. It's about how life is art, is perception. Oh, that's fucking funny. That's life imitates art. Literally. That's like the most ironic possible segue. I love that so much.
Life is God is something. Whatever Aiden said. I also yesterday I picked up a book that's full of
whatever Aiden said. Also, there's this other book. Improv King.
Whatever Aiden said. What was it? God is life is art?
Something? No, I said art is. I said life is art is perception.
Life is art is perception. On to this book about graffiti from the 1940s.
No, it's totally a good segue because there's like shit like that written in the book.
There is, yeah, absolutely. So
tell me about your graffiti that connects perfectly to my brilliant short story works.
Somewhere in here, there's something which is like God is life is art, and I can't find it. But there's also some other good stuff. One of them is help stamp out the whooping cranes, which I'm a big fan of. Escalate the war. Oh, reality is shifting in the face of need was the thing that my grandmother said.
How do we shift reality in the face of our need, Bradley, today?
Ooh, there's a whole section on gay people.
Can we use that? Is that
sure?
You see?
Ooh, too many of these have words I can't say. Oh wait, let me just try. Stop the homosexual revolution. Wear baggy pants. All right.
I mean That's a way to change reality in our way. Like, all right, wear baggy pants, guys. Actionable solution number 1. Stop the homosexual revolution. Sick of it.
Young man, well hung with beautiful body, is willing to do anything. P.S. If you see this bill, don't bother to call. It's only me, Tony.
That's so good. They spoke English back then?
I know, right? It's really true what they say about Tom Clancy. He makes great video games.
It does not say that.
No, it's from the 1940s.
I know.
There's something in here about Ronald Reagan eats peanut butter. The dude was not even president yet.
No, it was just some other guy.
Just a guy.
He just does. And peanut butter stands for penis brittle.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Ah, that's pertinent.
That's pertinent.
It's very good.
Oh, I'm back! Oh, it is me, Johnny Pepperseed. Oh, Johnny Pepperseed. Pepperseed, good to see you.
How did you get in this toilet?
Why are we both in the toilet right now? This is weird improv, Bradley. Why is my voice getting so... I'm running out of air. It was my toilet sound effect, and I also did it while spinning around in my chair. Hey, audience.
Electra loves daddy.
That's the funniest shit I've ever...
Just to even out the things.
Let's just even out the score.
I also bought the Magic Mountain.
Pass me the book. I need it.
Which is
your turn.
That's a fun one. I think Thomas Mann invented the liminal space. That's my hot take.
I think he was gay.
Thomas Mann?
Sorry, that was Tom.
Tom Ass Man?
No.
Excuse me, my name is Tom Ass Man. Do you know where I could get some good ass around here?
That's actually one of the graffiti.
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the
I was
Bum.
thinking about the guy, the toilet as inspiration. Wild that you didn't... Did you read the thing that said the toilet as inspiration?
I think I know.
No, yeah. So that's fucking wild, because what you've done is you've told a great joke that made no sense, and then it still worked.
Yeah.
Because I opened this book and the punchline was in the book. That's some psychic shit right there. That is some reality altering...
Lost anatomy. Pseudoscience.
It's fucking crazy. Oh.
It's
here.
a great book.
I just found another 1940s quote.
Yes?
Yeah. It says...
Is it the M-word one? Because I don't like that one.
No, that's not that. That's most of them.
There is just a section on... It's just race, racial troubles, and commentaries.
Man, crazy how we're all different colors. Comedy.
I don't get this one. This may be horribly offensive. I don't know if I want to even
see it.
It's just Bilbo lives on Waverly Place, which now with the Wizards of Waverly Place holds such a different connotation.
I mean, I think that was a crossover fanfic, right?
Yeah.
It had to be. That has to be a crossover fanfic one.
Okay, well, I can't say this one. You people are sick, white bastards, and Indian.
That's just true. Yeah.
Yep.
That's just how it works.
Plaid power.
Well, I like that because it's different colors.
The Irish, the Scottish, they're oppressed. The Tartans. I can't make fun of that. The British have done some horrible things to the Scottish.
No, it's not funny.
Here, everyone grasps his end.
Ass, grass, or gas. No one rides for free. The 1940s suck. See you guys next decade. Fuck you. But it was written on like the day before the 1950s started, and it's like a great joke. That was the first time anyone ever made a "see you next year" joke on the day before the.
King Kong, he died for our sins. And then
is that haiku? King Kong, he died for our sins.
God is a 6,000 foot tall red jelly bean.
Did Jimmy Carter write that?
That's Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is the jelly bean.
Jimmy Carter was the peanut butter one.
Yeah, but God is a 6,000 tall foot red jelly bean.
I love that Ariana Grande song. You believe God is a 6,000 foot tall red jelly bean.
That'd be better.
It would be a better song. I don't know how it goes.
Ariana goes into the studio and she's like, well, I have this idea.
Guys,
it's a radical song.
I know we just released God as a Woman.
But I've had a revelation.
But I have a revelation.
I was sleeping one night and I saw.
One night, I was laying down in my bed, and I heard a knock on the door. I opened the door, and an old woman, wearing 3 different shawls, handed me 2 different pamphlets. One, it was sort of a choose-your-own-adventure situation. One was about this 6,000-foot-tall red jelly bean god, and the other one was about this 6,000-foot blue jelly bean god. And she said that if you believe in one of them, you stay in the game. And
the other smaller pamphlet is God as a woman.
I chose, and there's a third smaller pamphlet under her third shawl. And that one was a pamphlet that said that you can continue to believe God as a woman. I said, no, fuck that. These other 2 pamphlets are like 1,000 times taller than that pamphlet.
I wonder if there's anything about in here about the Holy Spirit. Because we've already got Father, Son. Mm-hmm. Now we just need to complete the Trinity. So far we have King Kong. Mm-hmm. Jelly... Did that just set in a little bit?
It took me a second.
Yeah?
Yeah. Bradley, while he looks through the book, I'm just going to sit here and talk about more sort of great 40s graffiti.
Keep the Pope off the moon. Agreed.
It is 2019. We have to let the Pope on the moon. We cannot keep keeping the Pope off the moon. He has to get there at some point.
We can't continue to keep the Pope off the moon. God is not dead. He is just very, very sick.
My bathing suit is itchy. It's one of those shitty wool ones.
Is it?
In 1940 it is.
Here, buy pot art. Nice.
That's good advice. Did they cross out pot and write
no?
art?
It just says buy pot art.
Art is reality. Is perception. Is
pot.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Holden Caulfield.
Is that book that old?
Yeah.
What the shit? What?
Remember the alum, Mo? Oh. I'm done with this.
Bradley, you're done?
Remember the Alamo? Remember the alum, Mo?
Great. That's so fucking funny that they did that one.
In the 1940s, it would be... I think this book... How old is
I
this
bet
book?
if you went to the section on alcohol, there was some pithy wine mom who wrote about Holy Spirits, and that's
that would count. So King Kong, Big Red Jelly Bean,
and that one I just said is definitely in there, right? Like
Wine Mom.
It's the whole wine mom category.
Yeah, you know, Wine Mom. She was around. Wine Mom's been around since we invented wine. It's like Mesopotamia. Oh fuck, Wine Mom is
Wine
here.
Mom was the first character archetype.
Wine Mom is the original god.
I was drinking wine before you were born. Don't question me, son. So God is a woman. God is a wine mom.
God is a wine mom.
You believe God is a wine mom.
Oh my god.
Dude, God is a wine mom by Ariana Grande. Guys, I've had another revelation. Stop the recording. This is in the middle of the other song.
So you know how Ariana Grande has like the ponytail?
Yeah.
Like the high ponytail? Like I don't know anyone else who has a high ponytail except Shrunken Heads. So I always sort of... picture
well,
those
if she had a low pony, I feel like it's one of those situations where you look like you're about to start. I saw this tweet once that I think perfectly encapsulates that, and it's the once you hit low pony territory, it's pretty easy to hit the woodworking apprenticeship. Just about to go off. Daddy, mom made me a sandwich. Thank you, love you, kiss you lots, cheek cheek, run off, and I'm talking in a British accent this whole time. Like, I do have a woodworking apprenticeship that I have to go start. And I'm very eager. And I did try to put as much of my own spin on that as I can. So if you authored that tweet and you felt like I stole your content without giving you credit, please feel free to DM me. I'll go back. I'll update the file.
1940s tweets for like the past 20 minutes.
No, yeah, but they're... Oh my god,
they are 1940s tweets.
Might not all be dead. Well, I know they're 1940s tweets. That was exactly how I was envisioning the book. But that's... Like when you read it to me earlier...
I think it might be 1960s, so that many of them are not dead. Robert Reisner?
It'd be really good if one of them in there said, know thyself, like Socrates, me, or whatever, and that was where The Office got that great Wayne Gretzky joke.
There is Socrates eats hemlock in here.
He does.
You fucking spoiled Socrates for me!
I like that too, because that shows where their priorities are, because it could also be Socrates eats cock, or like Cockroaches or something, and it would be accurate. But
I think that's the parody because up above it is Shakespeare eats bacon.
Well, that's Shakespeare's.
Oh, Mormonism is groovy.
Dude, they do wear magic glasses.
They do. Oh, Hiram McDaniel, fuck me up with your 2019.
You think the Mormons in fucking Utah? In fucking Salt Lake City, Utah? Who are fucking all the time? Aren't smoking marijuana?
Who the fuck said that?
Me!
Now?
Original content. I'm saying the Mormons wear magic glasses. They have sex all the time. They live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's called the Promised Land. They just hang out around a lake that has salt in it, and they're just there having sex with each other to make kids because a book that someone fake wrote.
Well, the book was.
The book was.
What if
actually,
I could have as many women as I want?
I know what it was. I know what the book was.
Mormon. We've definitely done.
Mormon. I adore Andrew Reynolds. Andrew Reynolds, if you're listening, come kiss me. I'll give you my address.
Into the Valley of Death rode the sex hunky.
The what?
The sex hunky.
Was that like Aiden Kinsella 2020 trying to find Andrew Reynolds? Like,
Into the Valley of Death rode the sex hungry.
It's interesting. Yeah.
The fact that people have been doing this for so fucking long.
They've been doing it since ancient Greece.
Patronimus can kiss my ass. Like,
literally.
shit like that.
Literally, except it was literal.
Yeah, no.
Except it was just actually him talking about how he wants Patronus.
Patronus can come fuck me right now.
Come lick my asshole. It's like...
I hate it. I would like Patronus to hate fuck me.
Like Socrates writing that on a temple wall is like the ancient timey equivalent of modern day like Chad writing Catherine sucks cock, want her suck mine on the boys' bathroom stall as though that's gonna get him anything.
I wish Xerxes would come here and kill all you heathens.
Man, wouldn't it be great if Xenia required the women of the house to give you blowjobs? Hashtag FML. Hashtag first world problems.
Lysistrata sucks.
Hashtag old world problems.
Oh, God. Nobody should ever do that.
Hey, frats. Not cool the shit you're gonna do to our letters. Not cool what you're gonna associate us Greeks with, dude. You guys are hedonistic sex havers. Never do any of those things or ever be racist to women.
Syphilis can be fun.
Do you know about the story of how syphilis got its name?
No, I do not.
It's a fucking great story.
Yeah?
It's a sexually transmitted disease. For anybody in the audience who doesn't know, sorry, infection. We don't say STD anymore in the medical community. Anyway.
That's us.
That's me.
Medics.
Okay, but see, I walk around and I need a medic. If someone ever says need a medic, I will show up. Because I'm a lifeguard.
I can IED them.
I have a list of
That's
like...
the wrong one. AED? There we go. What's IED?
IED?
That's an explosion.
No, it's an internal animatic device for butts. I don't know. I'd made that up. I wanted to make a butt joke.
That's a bomb. I will not IED you.
No,
I will in fact AED you.
Dude, I'm gonna AED on this heart machine. Boom! Oh, I'm dead.
They should change
I lived too hard. I came back to life too hard. I AED'd on it.
What if they like mix up the shipments and like all the people who are trying to bomb United States military caravans get stuck with a bunch of like heart machines and all the people who are trying to save all their coworkers.
IED is an improvised it's not
well,
like
yeah, they ship them out from Russia.
Berklich residents, you're on the phone.
We have our first caller.
Hey, long time ringing, first time you picking it up in a second, Bradley?
Hello, first time caller. Who is this? Long time on the phone. Hello. I'll let you speak to them.
What did they say?
I think they're aliens.
Cool.
Not much.
All right, well, I'm not going to hear this till it comes out, so...
Okay, that's fine.
You guys just let me know, because there's a bunch of stuff that I need to, forget to edit.
Yeah.
About Bradley. About Bradley.
Oh,
Guys,
student of
there
literature.
There are some secrets in this podcast that I will hear when I'm editing it that I haven't even heard yet. Watch out. And I'm going to take them all out. None of you will hear them, but no, this is a good episode. This is a good one that you just listened to because you experienced a conversation in which many secrets were divulged. You did indeed.
I think...
And you should be lucky.
They do make all the IEDs in Russia, though.
They make all of them in Russia, and then they ship them out. Yeah. Then they ship them out, and the hardest part is making them all look improvised.
Yeah.
that's with our podcast too.
We are actually in a professional recording studio right now. We only claim to be in my basement.
We do also have scripts. I mean, us being in your basement means nothing.
Oh yeah.
The only part of this that was improvised was that novel I wrote.
Yeah. None of that was done beforehand. Yeah.
I feel like we might need to close the episode now.
All right. That's on. I'm going to put that onus on you.
Oh, that's my job. That's fucking.
I can do it if you want.
No, I want to do it. I'm excited. Hey kiddos. I hope my voice has been carrying okay, and I'm sure it has because I talk pretty loud and pretty clear. Not loud and clear because I like being asked to speak loudly and clearly because it makes me feel wanted. But almost there. I get just close enough that people will consider me a candidate, That was our podcast that you just listened to, and I and Bradley ourselves are incredibly grateful that you listened to it. I mentioned earlier, are starting a network with some friends. Don't look it up yet. You won't find anything. It's all secrets right now, just like the many that were divulged to this conversation that you won't get to hear, that you, again, should feel very lucky to have experienced the surroundings of. There were some good secrets. Some good Bradley poetry secrets. Mm-hmm. He didn't read any poetry, or did he?
Ooh, I might have.
Find out on next time. So we have places that you can find us. Usually I'm looking at the document when I do this. We have a lot of social media you can follow us on. We are at Good Idea Cast on Twitter, on Instagram, on Tumblr. You can find us on the Gmail is what that's called. You can email us at goodideapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. We are Good Idea Podcast. It's really not very difficult. You can kind of look us like it's you can pretty much get like if it's a Twitter like social media, then you're gonna find us at Good Idea Cast.
And you can just Google us.
Google Good Idea. We won't come up though. Good Idea Podcast will come up if you Google Good Idea Podcast for sure. We come up if on like Twitter and stuff. Just Google specifically. Good idea is such a frequently used phrase, which makes it great if the word podcast or entertainment is anywhere in there, and not so great any other time. Follow our good friend at Kigo Draws. That's at Kigo, K-E-E-G, not J, G-O_draws on Twitter. And I also believe on Instagram, he makes the banner art and Twitter art that we use. Our podcast art is different, but anyway, it all is super good, and you should definitely check Keegan out. You should check out Shattered Worlds RPG, the podcast, because on that I play Lindsay Lugner, and it's an absolute blast, and it is a great place to get yourself introduced to some other great shows if you like what we have to offer. Bradley, what was your favorite idea of the episode?
My favorite idea of the episode was the one where we did not even need the prompts list, where we completely forgot about that aspect of our show.
We didn't even do it! I tried to do a prompt at one point where I said, how can we make things better for ourselves?
I think we forgot about it.
We kind of started doing it. That was where we lost it.
God is a 6,000-foot tall jelly bean.
It's a good idea.
Which somebody else invented, I think 80 years ago. Aiden, what was your favorite of the episode?
My favorite idea of the episode, I think, was the Mormon bit. I don't know. I like talking about Andrew Rannells, first of all. But more than that, I like talking about magic glasses.
Yeah, Mormons.
Magic glasses and weed. And Mormons and sex.
Okay.
My favorite topics. Anyway, those are my idea of the episode. Bradley?
Yeah.
What is pick of the week for you?
I started playing Fallout 4. It's very good. I enjoy Fallout 4. I'm I think 4 years late to this. I think the game came out many years ago.
I mean, I'm thinking right now, because Fallout 76 just came out, so you're 72...
Yeah, I know.
You're it's more than a couple...
shit!
You've got
a couple generations behind.
The Fallout game was made when this... All the quotes in that Fallout game are actually taken from this book.
But Fallout 4 is good. I think it's fun. Aiden, how about you?
I do think a 40s Fallout game would be good, though.
That's what that is already, isn't it?
Fallout 4?
Oh, there is a noir aspect of Fallout 4. There's this whole guy named Nick Valentine. He's a detective, and you have to go around solving noir detective cases.
Of course, that's who Nick
Nick
Valentine is. Of course it is. Okay.
It's cool as shit.
My pick of the week. That is a good question. I'm going to have to go with Anais Mitchell. I've just been listening to a lot of her stuff lately. She did Hadestown, and I fucking love Hadestown, as I've said many times on this podcast. But she also has done just a lot of other stuff, and I have been... After Hadestown won the Tony or whatever, it won the Tony, right?
I don't know.
I think it won it. Even if it didn't, I'm a bad Broadway nerd because I just like the things that I like and I don't actually worry about what other people think. So, I'm bad at it.
It does make you a better person, though.
Does it?
I think, yeah.
I really, really like Hadestown, and I really think that if it didn't get the Tony, it definitely should have been probably the recipient of that, although Beetlejuice too. Anyway, I started listening to Hadestown again. They have not put the Broadway cast recording all the way on iTunes yet, so I have refrained from listening to any of it on iTunes yet. And I have just been listening to the old versions of the show because I always, when there are new versions, like to compare.
All right.
So, and I've also been listening to Anais' other work. So check her out. Her name is spelled weird. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
It's like anus, but there's an A and then an I with an umlaut over it and then an S.
Is that what an umlaut is?
Yeah.
The two dots are an umlaut?
Yeah.
Okay.
That may actually just be when it's a U. I have no idea.
I think it's just
I don't
when it's a
speak German.
U.
Shit. Fuck.
Yeah,
The two dots. You know what I'm talking
with
about.
a circumflex over it. Anyway, that's all I have with that, and I'm gonna now say, hey, thank you guys so much for listening. That was a good idea. Be kind to Chuck Spade. He's the official Negro. We're done here.
I think that's just some dude.
He's not just some dude.
He's Chuck Spade.
Dude, no. He's the official Negro.
Oh my god, Aiden.
What? Is that a word I can't say?
I'm pretty sure. I don't actually know.
I think I can say that one. It's not exactly a word that I would choose to describe a human being, but the context of that was, of course, that I was reading it out of the graffiti book.
Remember that time you were in class and it was To Kill a Mockingbird and everyone gave the black guy that one part during that one section where they had to say the M-word? The teacher went, well, we're gonna have Travis do this one.
Remember that one part where we were all reading To Kill a Mockingbird and the white kid read the N-word and everybody looked at the black kid?
Say the line, Bart!
No, can we run that again? That wasn't good. We need a clean take. That's his cast recording of To Kill a Mockingbird. And a black guy has to do that part because there's no other option.
So we know Mr. Finch is not supposed to be black. But he does have to say the M-word.
So, and our black student here does have a pocket watch because he's a nerd.
He wears glasses. Put him in. He's just like a lawyer.
Don't worry. We don't bully him for being black here, only for his personality.
It's because he's a shithead.
He carries a pocket watch around.
You ever met this fucking asshole? Oh, man.